Welcome to another episode of Handy Dan and Looney Luna. Let's make a drawer. This drawer is going to be for my wife's Serena and Lily Nightstand. This is the second of two. I've already made one, so I kind of already know what I'm doing, but I am relearning some things because it's been about a year. Essentially, what we have to do is build our drawer, make sure it's all going to fit with our hardware, and get it assembled. First things first, let's talk about measurements. We're gonna use a center mount drawer slide. Here it is. I can't remember the company I bought this from, but I will try to find that and I'll put it in the description. This is a center mount drawer slide. I went with this because it's A, it's hidden, and B, it's fairly cheap. This thing, you don't technically need to have a big flat piece of wood like this to mount it on. It comes with a bracket. And that bracket slots on there like so. This is in the back. Technically, you could just screw this straight into the back of your nightstand, that back piece of wood, and then have another piece of wood running along the front for that to rest on, and that would provide your support. But Serena and Lily's design called for the bottom to be completely enclosed, and I wanted to keep it as original, close to original as possible, partly because my wife is already mad that I made one alteration to the nightstand. I made it 1 inch taller and to be level with her bed, which she was fine with. It also allowed me to increase the height of the drawer by 1 inch. The original drawers were only 3 inches high, though I guess it's a singular drawer. The singular drawer box was only 3 inches high, which wasn't very much, and my wife's got a lot of stuff, and I was worried about it all spilling out all over the place. So, measurements. This drawer slide is exactly 3/8 of an inch tall. That is 6/16 of an inch tall. This is where you're gonna have to think about go back to your fraction days in middle school. 6/16. This drawer slide comes with 2 little plastic wedges. Not really wedges, they're just little plastic spacers. These little plastic spacers fit on either side of where your drawer edges are going to be. And those drawers, then that drawer rides along the top of that. Provides just a little bit of friction, and more importantly, they prevent your drawer from wobbling, because remember, this is a center mount drawer slide, so without them the drawer would wobble, but those prevent that. The problem is that this requires very precise measurements and cuts to be made. Oh, my assistant Luna has decided to grace us with her presence. She's on the hunt for bugs and sawdust. Okay, so because this is 3/8, 6/16 of an inch, our little plastic spacers are 3/16 of an inch. Keeping up with me? 3/16 of an inch, these little plastic spacers. Sorry, I'll take it out of here so you can see it. That's what it looks like. 3/16 of an inch. You see it's got a little nail on the bottom. And 6/16 of an inch. Now, the bottom of your drawer. Because this is 6/16 of an inch, the bottom of your drawer needs to be where? Needs to be right on top of this, right? But this, you can't cut your groove 6/16 from the bottom of your drawer, because you need space for your spacer, which is, what do we say, 3/16 of an inch. So, in order to create space, we have to come up a little bit. I've already figured out what the exact number of that would be, and it is 1/4 of an inch, which is what? 4/16 of an inch. Why did I go with 4/16 of an inch? Well, the primary reason is it gives me a tiny bit of play. It gives you 1/16 of an inch of play. If I was trying to go for exactly literally exactly on top of my spacer, I would go with closer to what it is, 3/16 of an inch. So when I cut my groove, 1/4 of an inch up, that's going to be 4/16 of an inch, right? And then I have 3/16 of an inch for my spacer, 7/16 of an inch total, right? And what did I say this was? This was 6/16 of an inch, right? Anyone following? I know. It's a little tricky to get your head around it all, but essentially that's how it works. It'll make sense a little more when we assemble it. So why don't we just go ahead and get going. We're going to router the groove. Let's actually talk about measurements real quick. Again, so this drawer is 17 inches along the face, 16 inches along the side. Now, the sides they run the full length. We're doing a butt joint, right? What is a butt joint? Butt joint is one piece of plywood comes like this, another piece of plywood goes like that. That is a butt joint. Our sides want to be like this. This is going to be our face. So the sides are going to be a full 1/16 of an inch long, whereas our face cut is not. It's going to be shorter than 17. It's essentially 17 minus the width of your plywood. My plywood's 3/4 of an inch. I got one piece of plywood on each side, right? Subtract 1/2 of an inch. That means your face cut has to be 15.5 inches. When you put it together into a box, you get dimensions that are 16 inches sides, 17 inch face. Hopefully all of that made sense. All right, let's make some cuts.